Bringing you to some breaking news, Malaysia's High Court has passed sentence on former Prime Minister Najib Razak following his conviction in the 1MDB trial. He was handed 15 years jail on each of the 4 counts of abuse of power, 5 years in prison for each of the 21 charges of money laundering, all of them to be served concurrently. He was also fined 11.3 billion ringgit, that's about $2.8 billion US. The court today finding him guilty over the illegal transfer of more than $500 million US from State Fund 1MDB. The court decision singling out Najib as the de facto decision maker who enabled transfers and misappropriation. Najib issuing an apology for the scandal but maintaining he was unaware of illegal transfers from the fund. We spoke to James Chin. He's Professor of Asian Studies at the University of Tasmania. He gave us his take on what the ruling could mean for Malaysia.
I think for most people in Malaysia, this verdict was widely expected. And the reason is because trials relating to 1MDB has already occurred in other jurisdictions like the US and Singapore. And in all those cases, right, it was found guilty that this was basically a financial scam. So no, I think most Malaysians are not surprised by today's results. It doesn't say very much about the judiciary, because we know that a lot of people would argue that the judiciary was put back onto its proper track, being independent of the executive when Tunku Mainun was appointed Chief Justice a few years ago. So this is very much a continuation. But having said that, I have to say that the evidence was overwhelming. So for example, he couldn't prove that the almost $700 million US donation from the so-called Saudi prince, all those things he could not prove. And he also could not prove why a series of transactions were made in 1MDB. He claimed that this was all made without him knowing about it. But the own charter of the 1MDB made it very clear that at the end of the day, they have to refer to him on every decision made in his position as the Prime Minister. It's a big plus for the Malaysian government to be able to show this to the rest of the world that our judiciary is quite independent and that we're capable of dealing with high-level corruption. But in terms of the people, I think the overwhelming majority of Malaysians are very happy with this verdict. Obviously, there's a small segment of Paul Najib supporters in UMNO who are not happy with this. But I would suggest that the overwhelming majority of Malaysians do believe that he played a major role in 1MDB and that J-Law was simply, acting on his behalf. So I think a lot of people feel that today's verdict was the correct one.